Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Willie's American Guitars. We're here in the corner and we are talking about 335s, the whole ES series. You know, perhaps the most well-known guitar is the Les Paul, because the old Les Pauls have gone up so much in value. But the ES-335, when it was introduced in 1958, they never discontinued it. It's the longest continuing guitar in Gibson's history. They never spent a year where they didn't make a 335. And you guys all know this, but I'll say for some of you, the 335 has a center block running through it. So it's not hollow, where the ES-330s, like this single pickup, is hollow, is completely hollow. The Beatles played an Epiphone 330, so many people played the center block 335s because it prevented feedback. Now, having said that, I got this in, and this is kind of interesting. If the camera would look down here, you can see this case, this guitar case, which is nearly mint because it came with a zippered cover. This is a custom-made guitar. So this is a 1964 ES-335, custom ordered with gold hardware. And there's a couple of unique features about this. First off, I just want to go over a couple of things when you're talking about 335s. In 1965, a lot of things changed, and one is the headstock pitch. And if you look at this guitar, the headstock is pitched back farther. This guitar, the 66, has a 15-degree pitch. This guitar, the 64, has a 17-degree pitch. So this guitar, these early guitars made before 65, have a steeper headstock pitch. Why? Well, they designed it like that, so as your string, which goes like this, as the string vibrates, it actually stops. It adds a little more tension to the string and a little more to the note. The bad thing is that the headstock's broke. So typical of Gibsons, if these were to fall down, many times they break. And the broken headstock is why they changed to this. In 1965, mid-1965, later in 65, they went to this 15-degree headstock pitch, so they didn't have so many breaks. It was a way to do that. Then, in the 70s, they added a volute to help prevent that even more. So, back to this guitar. This, being a 64, has the wide neck. It also has a wide border truss rod cover. And looking at this 66 and this, look at the two truss rod covers. You can see this one has a wider white piping around the edges of it. That is called a wide border truss rod cover. This, post 65, does not. So the truss rods covers are different. And you can always tell a reissue from an old one if you look, but that's what makes this particular guitar rather fascinating. Now here's the other thing. The previous owner of this custom ordered this with gold hardware. He was somebody that owned a construction company and came from humble beginnings. He custom ordered in 1963 or 4, this guitar. Back then, to order a Gibson, they didn't have a custom shop. They would custom make you one. They would do pretty much anything you wanted if you didn't mind waiting up to 3 years to get it. And I was working in retail guitars back in the early 70s. 3 years was a normal turnaround. They tried to discourage it. Okay, we're going to charge you a lot of money and we're going to take a long time to get it done, but we will do it. Okay, it's what I want. So people would do it. This is all gold hardware. And gold hardware guitars always have every screw is gold hardware. The strap buttons are gold hardware. The buttons holding on the truss rod cover are gold hardware. The ring around the jack is gold. Gold hardware guitars are completely gold. So this was ordered. This guy that owns a construction company loved gold stuff. He wore gold chains. He had gold glasses. And it came to us with heavyweight flat wound strings, with 12 gauge flat wound strings, so there's not much fret wear on here. He also at some point on this guitar changed the tuners, so these are newer gold Clousons. We found a set of Clousons and we're including it in the price of the guitar, so you can change it if you want. This is here on consignment and it's really unique. One of the things that's kind of cool is they use real lacquer in this time period, and you can see how yellowed the lacquer gets. And so the binding will show this really yellowed lacquer, which really strikes magnificently with the gold hardware. You see the gold piping and the gold hardware on this guitar. This is a custom one-off guitar. This guitar here has a custom-made plaque. Why? Because they cut guitars for a stop tail. This guitar has a stop tail. What they would do is simply cover those holes and call it custom made. So guitars that came with a Bigsby also came with a custom made plaque. For those of you that aren't really into vintage guitars, you might be doing, what? Yeah, there's 2 holes in here so you could put in the bolts to put in your stop tail. And right now, this is just, there's 2 pins that hold this down to hide those bolt holes. But what's really unique about this is a trapeze tailpiece. And again, prior to 65, guitars came with stop tailpieces on it. From 58 until mid-65, you either had a stop tail or a Bigsby. And then in late 65, they added a trapeze piece. Why? Because it sounds better acoustically. That's the short answer. Trapeze pieces sound more like an acoustic guitar. Stop tails sound more like an electric guitar, and the whole purpose of the 335 is the blending between the two. So pre-65, the stop tail added more of an electric sound. After that, they added the trapeze piece. So this is why this particular guitar is so unusual. It has all the pre-65 features, but it has one late 65 feature, and that is this trapeze piece. So it was custom ordered with a trapeze piece. There is nothing else underneath here. It was born with a trapeze piece. It never had a Bigsby. It had the stop tail as an option. So if you were to buy this, you could take off the trapeze piece. That's unusual. And then put in a gold stop tail in here and have yourself a stop tail guitar. This guitar is about as rare as it gets. In all the time I've been doing this, and I'm old, in all the time I've been doing this, I have never seen a guitar, a 335 with gold hardware and the stop tail, this combination of being the stop tail and the trapeze combo, ever. So this is probably one of one and well cared for in that covered case, and we're showing it to you and running through a Skylark, which is kind of a copy of a Fender amp. Pickups. Neck pickup. This guitar has patent sticker pickups that came out right after the PAF. What you get out of patent sticker pickups, which were all the way through about 1974, is a clearer upper mid-range. To be honest, they tried to copy Fender, but these are patent sticker pickups. This guitar is all straight except for the aforementioned tuners. And it's just delightfully clean. There's no buckle wear on the back. There's no headstock break. There's no cracks. This guitar was really well loved. These are gorgeous guitars, and just a fantastic guitar, being half hollow, half solid, and from the era that still had the big neck. And this is a highly unusual guitar in a very clean case with the original case cover that submitted for your approval, as Rod Serling used to say, a 1964 custom-made ES-335. And on that, we say goodbye.